and you're watching absolute basketball.
So take us back to March here and take us kind of inside how this all happened. Like, how did things initiate the move between you and Boston College for the opportunity?
Yeah, man, God did it. God keep doing it over and over again. So I wasn't looking to leave. Obviously, in the last 7 years at college at Charleston, with the success that we had, there were other opportunities, not so much other opportunities where I had like offers to leave, but there was other opportunities that presented themselves over the last 7 years. And I never felt really good about any of them. But this one, when I finally got the call and I had that first conversation with Pat Kraft, the AD here, we connected and we wanted the same things, and family was important to us and faith was important to us. And he was a fighter, playing football at Indiana. And I consider myself as a fighter. I typically have always had positions where you had to fight and you had to find players that actually kind of like getting in fights, and so, it just felt natural when I got the first call from Pat Kraft. And again, like I said, when I talked to Father Leahy, for the first time, it was just natural. It fit me, his beliefs, his visions, the idea that he hadn't left here in 25 years. He wanted to serve this place, and he wanted a coach that believed, it's important to transform the lives of the players. And so for me, it just was a great natural fit. It happened pretty quick, right when the season was over, but it felt natural. And again, I wasn't looking to leave. I was very content where I was, but I knew when I got the call, from Boston College and Pat Kraft, that God was in the middle of it, and it was time for me to get on to my next assignment. And I'm excited about, this assignment that we have in front of us, and to be a part of BC Nation, to build this program up and get it back to its rightful place.
You inherited 5 players, brought in 4 transfers in a 3-man recruiting class. What are your impressions of the roster you've inherited and then been able to put together so far at this point?
Yeah, I mean, there was some talent here. When I got here, typically in this landscape, anytime there's a coaching change, there's going to be a little bit of attrition. So there's going to be a little bit of attrition. So I got here, there was about 7 or 8 guys here. A couple were already in the portal. And, some guys decided, to leave. And then me and a couple guys, made a mutual decision that it was best for them to do something different. But for me, it's always about the guys that you do have, not the ones who you don't have. So, the 5 that are here, really have been committed. And really from day one, I mean, I'm talking about day one, when we got to work. My second day on the job, first day I didn't have time because there was so much media obligation. But second day on the job, man, we got to work, and them guys haven't wavered. They haven't looked back. They put their head down and roll their sleeves up, and just done a great job. So for me, we have 5, and then, we were fortunate to get a couple very experienced transfers, guys who have played Division I and had some success. And then I thought it was important to bring in some youth. I think anytime you take over a program, it's important to get some young guys that can battle and grow with you. And so, hopefully you have them around for their sophomore, junior, senior year. And they grow in your program, and they understand what you're trying to do, and they believe it, and you can find great success. So really happy with the roster that we have. Thought the coaching staff did a great job this summer, working with these guys. And we're going to take a break here in about 3 more days. At the end of this week, we're going to let the guys go home for 2 weeks, come back in the fall and gear up, and try to keep building.
So the transfer portal was a huge storyline this year, and obviously you took advantage of it. But as you initially took the job and you're going through your roster, how did you go about deciding how you wanted to move from there with the high school kids, the transfers, and all that type of stuff? Like, how did you decide that you wanted to build this roster?
Well, I knew we needed a little bit of experience, really in the post. We needed a little bit of experience, a couple big guys that weren't freshmen. The big guys take longer to develop. So, if you get a guy out of the portal who's played 2 years of college basketball, he's probably a little further ahead, so I wanted to do that. But also, for me, I thought the youth was important because this is my third time in 16 years being a part of a program with day one with a head coach. Now, for me, I did it at College of Charleston day one. Obviously, I did it here day one. But, being able to go day one with Greg Marshall at Wichita State and seeing what transpired, as well as being day one with Brad Bennell at Clemson and seeing what transpired, it gave me great peace and comfort in knowing that it's a process. And first things first, you got to get tough character kids in your program, and you got to try to keep them. And so nothing's going to be done overnight, but, you can build a foundation right now. We can build a foundation, and then you want to make progress upon that foundation. So it's going to be very important that you have some youth in your program, but it's also important your first 2 recruiting classes. Those first 2 recruiting classes are going to be about 6 to 7 guys. And those guys, along with the few that you inherit, that you develop, they're going to be the ones that help you reach the highest height. They help you climb the mountain and get to the top, to help you, get into postseason. And if you're fortunate, make a run. It's going to be those guys staying together, buying into the system, finding some pride in the BC Nation, loving each other, going through tough times together and celebrating all the moments that we can celebrate. And then you get to a point where you're solid as a rock and, you go play at a high level. So I knew it was important to have a couple of youthful guys, but also I understand that these first 2 recruiting classes, these 6 to 7 guys that you take, they're going to have a lot to do with the program getting to where we want to get it to.
Mekhi Ashton Langford is your leading returning scorer, started 12 of 15 games last year. What have your conversations been like with him, and what are your expectations for him this season?
Well, we had a really good hug a couple of days ago, so that felt good. I told him I hope we have more huggable moments. But no, just he's been working hard, man, every day. Looking right in the eyes, and he look you right back in the eyes. I mean, he want to be successful. He want to win. He's had a lot of different experiences, starting out at Providence, and then coming here for a couple years. So very, very talented, very fast, unbelievable human being. Just a good person. He want to do well, and so, just it's been great having him, working with him every day. Typically, my relationship with my point guards are very crucial because I give those guys freedom, and it's got to be a high level of trust because I try to let them coach a little bit out there on the floor. And so I think he'll be perfect for the job. And, it's been great, working with him throughout the summer. He's really worked extremely hard and try to be a good leader for his teammates.
And as you've been able to get face-to-face with these kids, coach them up a little bit, have a couple, your 4-hour-a-week practices and stuff, what kind of identity are you trying to build and create within this program?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just understanding how important it is to care for each other, be a true team, really care for each other, eliminate all the selfishness and the jealousy, and be on one accord with each other. Be fighting for the same thing. I think that's half the battle. Just be fighting for the same thing. Where guys enjoy coming to work. They don't mind rolling their sleeves up, and they don't mind scratching and clawing. I mean, so we've tried to compete this summer and, develop a atmosphere of competitive spirit, an atmosphere of grittiness. And, them guys are trying to embrace that, So for me, I do want a team that's confident, that really believe in each other, but that they really believe that hard work works, because if you're a man and you got a family to take care of, you feel pretty good at night when you lay down in your bed knowing that you gave your best day's effort. So for me and my team and my staff, I just want to give our best day's effort, and you let the chips fall where they may. If you give your best day's effort over and over again and you compete and get after it and you love each other, then eventually, something good is going to happen to you.
You're watching absolute basketball.